literally every major power in the world is gearing up with its own digital currency. And so is India. But India's UPI has taken digital transactions to the next level. So, with UPI already available, what exactly is the use case for the e-rupee?
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT. News9 Plus, download now.
Joining me on News9 Live today is another mother from Israel who is desperately and anxiously waiting for her son to return home safely. And she is waiting to hear where he is, what condition he is in, and has no idea, like scores of other Israelis today whose loved ones have been taken hostage by the Hamas terrorists. I'm joined now by Mayan Sherman from Israel. Her son, Ron Sherman, is 19 years old. He is an Israeli soldier. He was taken hostage by the Hamas on the 7th of October, on the day when the most horrific terror attacks on Israeli soil took place. Thank you so much, Mayan, for speaking to us at what is an impossibly difficult time for you. My heartfelt condolences over all the loss of lives in Israel, and I'm really sorry to hear about your son. Please tell our viewers about your son. Tell us about Ron. Who is he? What happened? How did he get captured by the Hamas? What happened that day?
First of all, Ron is 19, as you said, he is a 19-year-old boy. He is a soldier now. As you know, all children in Israel, after they finish high school, they have to serve the army, the military service. And Ron has asthma, a very severe one. So he served as a defense soldier in the border with the Gaza Strip. His job was to help the economy of the Gazan population by he was one of he was in charge on the traders that bring the goods inside Israel and back to the Gaza Strip. He loved his job. He loved he was always happy. As a student, he was happy. This is something that is very, we hope it will help him where he is now. And our nightmare started on the morning of Saturday at 6:30 in the morning. Ron stayed in the base during that weekend, he started texting us at 6:30 in the morning and said that he thought was a heavy missile attack on the base. He was sleeping, and when it started, so he ran with his t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops to the shelter. It's not exactly a shelter as you imagine it. It's something like a concrete wall that serves the soldiers during the missiles attack. And he ran there, and he started texting us that he was very worried because it sounded different this time. And he actually recorded us also a few videos, and I heard it, and I know the missiles because we live in we know the sounds of the missiles from Gaza because we live very close to the Gazan border and we are used to this, unfortunately. And it sounded different. I knew it wasn't missiles, but I didn't know what it was. Afterwards, we understood it was grenades and bombings and all kinds of ammunition the terrorists used in order to get into the base. But it was very it sounded very, very loud, and he was terrified. And I told him just stay there in this shield, in this in this concrete wall. And he asked me maybe I should go back to the dormitories where I'm sleeping, and I said no, stay there. And after a while, he wrote to me, texted me, Mom, they said that there are terrorists inside the base. And I have to admit, I didn't believe him. I thought he was just imagining things. It sounded unreal. And I told him just, it can't be. It's impossible. And after a while, he texted me everything. He just wrote me, I hear Arabic language outside the shelter. They are outside, they are coming to take me. I love you, Mom, and lots of red hearts. And his last words were, it's over. And that's it. And at this time, as you can imagine, we thought it was really over because we thought it was dead. We tried, nobody told us anything. We tried to call, whoever we can, but we didn't get any answer from anybody at this stage. After 5 hours, I think the worst in my life is really the worst in any parent's life could be. Suddenly we received the videos that the Hamas posted that you can see Ron clearly, very healthy, alive, walking, taking. He was taken as a hostage and taken to the Gaza Strip by barefoot. He didn't have he was just walking without it because in his t-shirt and shorts. But he looked fine. He looked okay. He was kidnapped, alive and uninjured. And it was a kind of a relief for us. Although, your son is held by a terrorist group, but at that moment it was a relief because we knew he was alive, and until now we have hope, and this is very important for us.
You're right, Mayan. Nobody would ever want their child to be in captivity of a terrorist. But here, you actually were relieved when you saw that video because at least you knew your son was alive, as opposed to so many other Israelis who had been butchered by these Hamas terrorists that day. And that gives you hope.
Yes, at the time we received that video, we haven't seen yet what the Hamas did in the kibbutz around the Gaza Strip. I don't know if you have seen what we have seen here, but think about ISIS. Think about the worst of the worst. We say it's worse. It's even worse than what the Nazis did during the Holocaust. You cannot even imagine the sights that we have seen. And I didn't know the Hamas was such. I didn't know the Hamas is ISIS, really. I thought they were, just a bunch of crazy terrorists, but I didn't know they were such. They are such a cruel, bloodthirsty human beings. I don't want to call them animals because animals don't do this to their own species.
You're so right.
It's unbelievable, really. I see myself until now, and this is the reason I can talk to you. Among the luckiest, and because there are children beheaded, slaughtered, burned, and many others, 2-year-old and 4-year-olds, taken hostages. Nobody knows if they're dead or alive. We don't know why would they take such little children as hostages. What is the reason? What are they going to do with them? And girls raped, and all elderly women taken. Unbelievable horror, really. I don't think, in your country, I don't think in any other country, you see such, sights. And I know that my son is now with these terrorist organization, and I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I cannot, it's the worst case scenario, I think, for every parent in the world.
I can't even imagine what it is like. Like you said, it is the worst nightmare for a parent to know that their child is in captivity of such monsters. They are not just terrorists, they are beasts, they're monsters. But man, just today, the Israeli military released an official figure saying that Hamas has actually taken 199 people hostage. Up till now, we thought maybe there were 100 or 150. Now we know that they're almost 200. Some of them are foreigners, but most of them, of course, are Israelis. Are you concerned that as Israeli airstrikes continue to pound Gaza relentlessly, these hostages could be in very serious danger because these terrorists, they use Gazans as human shields, and chances are they may also use the hostages as human shields.
I am concerned, and I can hear the bombings from my house. Yes, I am very concerned. But the Hamas uses its own children and people as human shields. It sounds crazy, but I really believe that our hostages are kept much more. They need them for bargains. They need them. They are too. The Gazan people, they don't need, so they use them. But our hostages are much, they need, so they need them much more. So I don't believe, I believe they are keeping them safe, and whatever, I can do nothing. And another concern we have, that Ron is asthmatic, as I told you, and we're trying to get to the Red Cross because he needs his inhaler, and he was caught without his inhaler. And the Red Cross, as I know, couldn't get to them yet, to the hostages yet. We don't know if he survived, the first day, because we saw him on the first day when he was kidnapped, but afterwards we don't know anything. We don't know if he can breathe without his inhaler. I don't know. Maybe he died from his asthma. Maybe he died from the bombings of the Israeli planes. Maybe just one of these crazy monsters, as you said, and it's maybe this is the right, this is this is how you have to call them. Maybe just one of them decided to kill him. We don't know anything, and but our hearts is with the little children and women, and and girls that's what you don't know what they are doing to them right now. We know what they are capable of, but we are it's we just hope that all this nightmare will be over. And Ron is also an Argentinian citizenship, and we asked also the president of Argentina to help. We are, whatever help we can, we are trying to ask, because just 2 weeks ago we were a normal family. Everything was perfect. Just think about it. And suddenly our lives are, I don't want to say over, but it has changed so much.
I can imagine. I mean, this would turn anyone's world upside down. And we're
Absolutely.
hoping and praying, Mayan, that your son returns home to you safely, as do all the other hostages. Now, apart from Israelis, there are people of other nationalities who are being held hostage. There are Americans, there are British nationals from many countries, in fact. America has, of course, extended full support to Israel militarily and otherwise. What do you think the international community should do, countries like the US and UK in particular, should do to bring the hostages back home? I spoke to another mother like you, Galit Dan, whose 13-year-old child, Noya, suffers from autism. She's been taken hostage. She was very emotional while talking to us, and she said, Israel needs to stop everything and first bring back our loved ones, even if it means stopping the bombings. What do you think?
I'm not a politician. I'm Ron's mother, and I don't know. My personal, I think first of all, a country, every country has to take care of its own citizens, and I think our government should bring the hostages as soon as possible home. I don't know if today. I don't know if but they should do it. They should do it with wisdom, not just I hope that they know what they are doing. I hope that they know where the hostages are when they are bombing Gaza. But as a mother, I don't care now. I don't care for anything. I have to admit, I just want my son with me back here. And this is this is not the right question to ask. I think a mother in my condition. This is because I'm not.
I understand, Maya, but I want to ask you this. There is no information about the hostages, where they are, what condition they're in. Has anyone in the government reached out to you? You said you tried to, send inhalers for Ron through the Red Cross. That has not been possible. Has there been any contact at all with anyone who could help in any way?
Yes, we have contacts, but not nobody knows really where he is. Nobody knows. We assume is in the tunnels, because that underneath Gaza there are many tunnels, and we assume all the hostages were taken into the tunnels and spread. And I think that the Hamas said that this themselves. It's not a secret for them. So I don't think that my government knows where the hostages are held. I'm sure that they are not together. We know that they spread them in different parts of Gaza. I don't think that the American government knows anything more. Nobody knows exactly where they are. But they know that they are underneath the Gaza Strip. Somewhere.
Yes. Let me ask you, as a mother, Mayan, and I know this is not an easy question to answer. You said 2 weeks ago we were a normal, happy family. Now everything has changed. What have these 9 days been like for you, for your family, not knowing where Ron is, what condition he's in, whether he'll come back home, when he will come back home? What has it been like?
You mean the last week? You mean?
Yes, the last 9 days. What has it been like for you
The
and the
last 9
family?
days. As you assume, we just we are we don't sleep, and we just, from the morning until the evening, we are just do whatever we think could help, like being interviewed. My husband speaks Spanish, so he is being interviewed to Latin America and to Spain, and I'm interviewed in Israeli media and in foreign media in English. This is what we do all day. We just want to, to raise the awareness for Ron, and I hope that you will show his face and you will look how really is such a good boy, and you can see it in the pictures if you have seen him. He's really, he doesn't. Nobody deserves this, but really, and he doesn't deserve it. We hope his character, his good nature, is very friendly. We really hope it would help him to survive. And he knows a little bit Arabic, maybe just a few sentences that he learned in the army. But we are very worried. We are very, very worried. We don't know how long it will take. I don't know how long I would be able to continue like this, and I don't want to break. Right now, I feel very strong still, and I feel that I can continue on. And me and my husband, walking around the clock in order to do everything to bring him back. But I'm not sure about myself. I don't know for how long I will be able to continue like this and without, breaking.
It can't be easy, man, what you're dealing with, what you're putting up with. But yes, you need to be brave for Ron. You need to be brave for your son. And we're all hoping and praying that he will return to you safely, as will all the other hostages. Everybody is praying for this war to end at the earliest. I know that they're beasts, but is there something you would want to say to those men who've taken your son?
After, if I haven't seen what they have done in the kibbutz, maybe I would have said something, but I don't think that you can say anything to monsters, to beasts. You cannot say anything. It's like, I have nothing to say to them, really. I don't think that it could help in any way to talk to them. They don't have hearts. They just, they have hatred, and they just want blood, and they just want all the Israeli dead. And how could you talk to these kind of people?
You're quite right. These are monsters. They have no humanity in them. How do you say anything to them, leave alone appeal to them for mercy? But finally, Mayan, I want to ask you this. We're of course certainly hoping and praying that Ron comes back to you safely. But do you believe that this is an incident that has perhaps changed your lives forever? The scars will perhaps never heal. Is that how you feel?
I feel
At what's
personally.
happened?
Do you mean personally to me?
Yes.
So the answer is very, if Ron will come back alive, I'm sure that, we will have our scars, but it would be something, that we will be able to overcome. If not, it would, our lives would be changed forever. And I don't care if he comes back, injured. And I don't care if he comes back without hands and legs, really. I just want him back. But if he's dead, I don't care. I don't need him. I don't need his corpse. I don't need his acid. I just want him alive with me. And the rest, if he's alive, we will manage with everything. But But of course, our lives will change. We will never be the same. But if he will come back alive, we will overcome it.
We certainly hope you do, Mayan. Finally, your husband and you are doing all you can. You're reaching out to the media. You're trying to create awareness about Ron and what's happened to him. I'm sure that all the hostages' families must be in touch and reaching out to each other. Can you tell us a little bit about how you are supporting each other in this very difficult time when there is no information and just fear and anxiety?
We don't have, we have a group that we can communicate with one another, and really, as I told you before, I really feel the luckiest among them, because if I had a girl at the same age, or even as you said, an autistic or a baby, and there's a father with all his family is the 3 children and wife that were kidnapped. I cannot say anything to them. I just hope that they will survive it somehow. I don't know how, but I can tell you that there are many kinds of fake news on Telegram and on the media, and suddenly one of the parents told us that he heard that his son specifically was dead. The Hamas posted, and they said his name, the name of his son, and we don't know if it's true. We don't know if it's fake. We don't know how to. You have to understand that for this father, it's I see him as even in a worse condition than I am right now, and maybe it's not true. I try to talk to him, to say you have to be strong. It's not a lot of fake in the media, but we don't know. Personally, I don't know what to believe and what not to believe too.
Finally, Mayan, you said Ron has asthma. He doesn't have his inhaler. How concerned are you about his health?
Very much. We are now 9 days after the kidnapping. I don't know. The asthma was very. It depends where he is. Actually, if he's in an open space, it could be easier. If he's underneath the ground, it could be much worse. I really don't. I prefer not to think about it, really, because it makes me even more worried than it's almost impossible for me right now. It's like making things much even worse than they could be.
Yes, Mayan. You are a brave woman, and you have to be strong for Ron's sake. And we all hope and pray that he'll return home to you safely at the earliest. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and all the hostages and their families. Thank you so much for talking to us, Mayan, and sharing your pain with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Please take care. Thanks.
BrahMos, stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors, and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The Warship Killer. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
They picked my husband. He was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. Within 15 minutes, we got the information that the whole area is surrounded by Pakistan Army. I came out from that in disguise, and after 5 to 6 hours, I was in Kandahar. I don't have any message for Pakistan. There is no politician in Pakistan. They are puppets of Pakistan Army.
Streaming now. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Delhi has the fastest growing metro network among G20 nations. From 6 stations in 2002, it today has 286 stations. Reliability, cleanliness and affordability have set the template for other Indian metros. The architect of this modern-day world-class marvel is E. Sridharan. Watch the extraordinary life of Metroman E. Sridharan streaming now on News9 Plus. Download now.
Right now, there are 2 wars happening in the world. One, of course, is the Russia-Ukraine war. And when that war started last year,